You know, I get criticized from time to time on this channel for the way that I cover criminal justice issues. Occasionally, people on the left will say that I'm being hyperbolic. I might be exaggerating, according to them, making things up, or outright lying, especially when I talk about these left-wing district attorneys and how they are, in fact, not reformers. They're not interested in being less harsh on people who are just smoking marijuana or selling a small amount of it. These people are, in fact, pro-criminal. They are pro-violent criminal. These are the people that they view as the victims in our society, and if we don't get a hold of this, we're going to have some serious problems in this country because we're only getting more of these prosecutors and more of these judges and more of these so-called reforms being instituted in our police departments, not less. Well, today we're going to talk about a story that actually is the worst example I've found thus far, and believe me, I am steeped in this process. I am looking into cases and district attorneys, constantly getting updates, and this one is actually the most horrific because the precedent that it sets is outrageous, and unfortunately, it is backed up by a California law that was never intended to be abused in this way. What we're going to talk about today is Pamela Price, who recently took office in Alameda County. For those of you who are unaware, this is the county that covers Oakland, California, and she, of course, ran on this reformer campaign. However, what Price has done should be national news because in her efforts to advocate for a triple murderer, somebody who murdered 3 different people, she has targeted a judge who is appointed by a Democrat, by Jerry Brown, a veteran on the bench, and is going to make it so he can never hear cases again, all because he didn't want to let a triple murderer get off basically scot-free compared to the crime that he committed. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I do want to remind you guys, because it does help, to like this video. I hate asking for engagement in the beginning of the video, and check out our sponsor, which I'm going to toss it to right now, but definitely come back over here and we're going to discuss it on the other side. Now, you guys have heard me talk about on this channel the benefits of taking collagen for the effects of aging, but what you also might not know is that a recent study actually shows that combined with exercise, taking collagen might actually help you build muscle mass. This is one of the reasons why I highly recommend the collagen powder over at Health with Justice. It has 5 different types of collagen formulated specifically to give you the absolute best results, and for this month, not only will you get the 51% off discount using my link, but you will also get a link upon purchase to some free fitness coaching. On top of that, a single purchase will grant you access to a little booklet, it's digital though, that will tell you the 14 best foods for amazing skin. That's healthwithjustice.com. Get your powder, get your discount, and get all these other amenities. That's healthwithjustice.com.
And Pamela Price has been criticized.
Yeah, tonight we are hearing from people unhappy with what the DA is doing and how she's doing it. Price recently took the extraordinary step of announcing in a social media video that she will try to prevent a veteran judge from ever hearing a criminal case again.
Can she do that?
So unfortunately, to answer this question for you right off the bat, she can in fact do that because California has a law that allows either the prosecution or the defense at one point in time during every trial to file a motion to get rid of a judge because they believe this judge will not be fair in judging the cases. So if Alameda County prosecutor Pamela Price files this motion at the beginning of each and every case, she can essentially neutralize this judge, which again is insane, especially when you factor in the background of this judge, because it is not the person that you think it is, not the person that you have pictured in your mind as this so-called too harsh on crime judge.
Once again, Pam Price has refused my request for an interview, but she's trying a new tactic, posting recorded statements on social media that don't allow for any follow-up questions.
Now, Pam Price, of course, rejects interviews. She doesn't take questions. She is not about any kind of criticism. Once she's in power, she wants to be held completely unaccountable, so she posted her video to social media and of course turn comments off.
Several longtime veterans in the field of criminal justice, lawyers and judges tell me they've never seen anything like this. A district attorney going on social media and attacking a judge.
Judge Mark McCannon overstepped his boundaries as a judicial officer.
Pam Price says that Mark McCannon, Superior Court judge for 10 years, appointed by Governor Jerry Brown, before that an Alameda County prosecutor for 16 years, should hear no more criminal cases.
Now, to make matters worse, this video is smearing and attacking a judge, claiming that this judge completely stepped out of the bounds of his authority, and that's why her office is essentially going to remove him from office by never putting a case in front of him ever again. However, what makes this so insane, and by the way, I gotta describe this guy for you podcast viewers. Mark Buchanan is a black man. He is appointed by Jerry Brown, has been serving as a judge for over a decade, and his connection to Alameda County is not something to be dismissed. As you can see in the graphic, he has been a prosecutor prior to being a judge for 16 years. So this judge, veteran, 26 years working in Alameda County, is essentially considered too radical, too racist, too evil white racist, despite him being a black guy, to cover cases for this progressive prosecutor, and essentially his appointment is being undone in just 3 months of this prosecutor taking office. That's how outrageous it is. And she takes the extra step of going after him on social media in a form where she can't be held accountable, because what these lefties absolutely cannot stand is any scrutiny to their power. In fact, I am sure the people who will defend this, the 4 insane people that are actually on this woman's side, will make the case that she is in fact the victim of this scenario, not taking into account the 3 victims of the crimes of the murderer that she was going out of her way to cut a break.
My office will file a motion to disqualify him from hearing any criminal cases being prosecuted by our office.
It's all because Judge Buchanan rejected the plea deal Price offered Delonzo Logwood, accused of 3 murders, one during a carjacking robbery.
Yeah, that's right. Delonzo Logwood was pleading guilty to 3 different murders. The first, carjacking robbery. Now, maybe you guys out there will say, well, Sean, honestly, he fired the gun by mistake. It was just a carjacking. He didn't intend to kill somebody. The fact that somebody ended up dying, it's no big deal for some reason. Everybody gets 1 murder, at least in Oakland. Maybe you think that's fair. But the second murder, I really want you to listen to it and hear it out, because it is horrific.
Murders, one during a carjacking robbery, a murder for hire.
Yeah, that's right. He did a murder for hire. He killed someone for a paycheck. He did it for the money, and the prosecutor is on his side, and the judge is going to lose his job for trying to hold this person accountable when he's pleading guilty to 3 murders. But of course, it only gets worse. The behavior only escalates. It only gets more nightmarish, and this is why, again, this might be the worst case we've ever covered, the biggest overstep of power from one of these progressive prosecutors in the history of the country, because the next one is even more insane.
And killing a witness set to testify against his stepbrother.
He killed a witness. He killed a witness. He killed somebody that was going to testify on behalf of this district attorney's office. Now, Price wasn't in office at the time, but he killed somebody that was going to come forward to put his stepbrother behind bars for the violent, insane crimes that he was committing. And Pamela Price says, you know what? You kill a witness, no big deal. 3 murders, you know what? We'll call that a foul tip, because we don't do 3 murders and you're out in Alameda County anymore. We do 3 murders, and honestly, let's try to inconvenience your life in the least way humanly possible.
He faces 75 years to life in prison if convicted. Price offered him 15 years on a single voluntary manslaughter charge.
She offered him 15 years if he pled guilty to 1 count of voluntary manslaughter. 1 count of voluntary manslaughter. And remember, we don't have this truth in sentencing thing in the United States of America. With good behavior, you can get out if you serve half to 2/3 of your sentence in most states. And also, if he was held in jail pre-trial, as we've covered in other cases in California, he gets double the credit for each day served. So let's say he's held for 2 years in jail awaiting trial. That's already shaved off 4 years from his sentence, meaning that he could presumably get out if he just served 4 more years, because all you really have to do is serve a little bit more than half on a count like this in the state of California. Now, they say that he's facing 75 years to life, but I want to point out, even though they don't exercise it, and it is very unlikely Gavin Newsom would ever approve this, that California has the death penalty. Now, I know a lot of people have questionable feelings about the death penalty, but I think if you kill a state's witness, if you kill someone for money, if you kill someone over a car, let alone doing all 3 of them, then maybe you consider the death penalty not cutting this guy a damn break.
And this week, after Judge McCannon denied Price's motion to remove himself for bias, she announced she's going to prevent him from hearing any criminal cases.
The judge is supposed to be an impartial referee, managing cases that come before him.
McCannon is an absolute hero in this case for not only refusing this ridiculous plea deal, but also refusing to step down when being accused of bias by this insanely pro-criminal bias district attorney who is supposed to be advocating on behalf of the victims and on behalf of law and order. So good for him. If I was going to make a last stand that was going to cost me my ability to hear any criminal case, this would be the case to do it, because what she's doing is absolutely absurd. The idea that this guy can't be a judge in California, in Alameda County anymore, due to the fact that he was not in favor of a guy who killed somebody over a car, killed someone for money, and then killed a state's witness, is absolutely absurd and insane. The idea that the district attorney is more pro-criminal than the defense attorneys that she's opposing is also madness.
People want to change within the criminal justice system. Change, not tearing it down.
Defense attorney Michael Cardozo was in the courtroom when Judge McCannon rejected motions by both the defense and prosecutors to remove him from the triple murder case. While Cardozo's own client has benefited from Price's plea deal in the past, he still questions her leadership.
It kicks victims to the curb, and it puts those type of criminals back in the community where they came from. I think people ought to start paying attention, because by the time you all wake up, it's going to be too late.
Imagine being this guy, a defense attorney who's getting sweetheart deal after sweetheart deal from a prosecution team that is so in favor of the criminal that it's absurd. He's happy to benefit for his clients because as a defense attorney, you're supposed to advocate for your clients. But even he's like, no, this woman is absolutely crazy. She has gone way too far. She's ripping the system apart. This is not the change that people were expecting. And I can tell you, as somebody who wants to get the best deal humanly possible for my client, that this is just outlandish, and she's kicking victims to the curb, and honestly, it's the destruction of our system. Again, from the mouth of a defense attorney who benefits from this woman's absolute insanity in the courtroom, her pro-criminal ideology, he says this is too far. What kind of crazy world are we living in when the people who are charged with defending those accused of crimes are less pro-criminal than those in charge of prosecuting crimes? But I gotta give credit to this local affiliate because they take it one step further. They talk to a retired judge and present her the facts of the case and ask her what she would have done, in case you're curious about whether or not this judge totally stepped out of bounds.
Retired Santa Clara Judge LaDoris Cordell says she would have rejected Price's plea deal in the triple murder too, and believes the move to remove a judge from all criminal cases in the county could have major consequences for the justice system.
She's basically reduced the number of judges in Alameda County who can preside over criminal cases at a time when criminal cases are backlogged in the courts.
So not only do we have a judge who is a black male who actually did reject the case on its merits, but then when they present it to a veteran black female judge, she also says, no, this is insanity. Not only is the rejection of this plea deal totally warranted, but the idea that you're going to reduce the number of judges that can even hear criminal cases due to the fact that you didn't like the outcome of this outrageous plea deal that you negotiated that obviously should have been rejected is insane. But that's the thing. This woman is not here to prosecute cases. She's not interested in reform. She's not interested in talking to you about low-level marijuana arrests or all these ticky-tack violations. She's pro-criminal, and she's essentially trying to destroy the criminal justice system from the inside. So them slowing down the system to a grinding halt so no family gets justice is a-okay. Again, she's advocating for a man who is pleading guilty to killing a state's witness, killing someone for money, and then killing somebody over a car. That's the side that she is on, and there's a reason she turned off comments on her YouTube channel. There's a reason she won't take any interviews, because she's also a coward on top of everything else. We absolutely gotta stop these left-wing prosecutors. If you find them in your area, vote them out. Donate to their opponent. No matter who it is, Democrat, Republican, whatever, you can't have these zealots in office because they want to burn it down, and I'll take somebody who's bad on criminal justice policy, but at least a prosecutor that's in the name of the Democratic Party, rather than some radical progressive who wants to burn the system down every day and twice on Sunday. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you liked the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on all my social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about a horrific case, one of the worst we've ever seen on this channel. Till next time.